Hey guys, so I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Should you join the team or should you try to do this by yourself? This is a common question. A lot of brand new people usually ask for this question. And a lot of people usually are lost because they're not really sure what they should be doing or what kind of questions they should be asking or how to choose a proper team. Now, who else can answer your questions better than somebody who's been in your shoes? Shyine's been part of the team and now he has his own team with 9 agents on his team at this moment and one of the top teams in his brokerage. So Shyne, let's talk about pros and cons of being independent agents or working for the team.
Definite pro of being an independent agent is you get to keep all the commission. It's the elephant in the room. Let's just talk about it. You get to keep all your money. That's awesome, right? The con is obviously you have to pay for everything. So if you want a private office in the brokerage, you have to pay for that. If you want an assistant, you have to pay for that. Printing, your business cards, your signs, brochures, catalogs, etc. You want a website. All those things cost money, okay? So you have to pay for all those things. So that's a con. Pro is you have to keep all your money on doing a deal. Now let's talk about the pro and con of being on a team. So again, the elephant in the room, when you're on a team, there's different splits, right? Every team has different splits. So talk to the team lead or whoever you're interviewing on what those splits are, percentage-wise, dollar amount-wise, whatever they want to choose. And also, big question is, what are they providing you? You know, are they giving you clients? Are they giving you leads? Are they just giving you mentorship? Like, to what degree are those things? You know, how much involvement are they going to have in your career? And what is the plan for you in their business, in their career, in your career, etc.? So again, con, obviously you're going to get less money, right? You're still going to get a good chunk of it, but it depends on, again, what the splits are. There's a lot of pros though on being on a team, especially being a new agent. Most of you might have 1 or 2 people that you've kind of had in the back burner waiting for you to get your license, right? And something I've seen, not only in my own career, but a lot of my colleagues, you know, I teach a contract class, so I do see lots and lots of new agents, and I find that they kind of have the same pitfalls, is that the people that are in their sphere that want to work with them are scared to work with them because they're new. You know, they say, hey, you know what? I trust, you know, so-and-so because I know them, I have a personal relationship with them, but do they really know what they're doing for the biggest purchase of my life? So that apprehension sometimes allows them to go a different way. So again, to talk about a pro of the team is that you're going to have an experienced agent overlooking your contracts, vetting your contracts, as they should be anyways, paying for your marketing materials, your advertising materials, your website, et cetera, et cetera. So all the cons on being independent are pros on being on a team because, you know, you're going to pay a lot less money out of your pocket starting this new business. And just a piece of advice for all of you new agents that are considering joining a team, don't look at the money that you're giving up to the team lead as, hey, you know what, this is money I'm losing out of my pocket. That's money that you're paying to learn, to get experience, to be able to go on your own, right? Just the same way that you went to UBC to learn the course, just the same way you went to GOBC to learn the course and how to pass the test and all that wonderful information that Yana and her team provide. The same thing that the team lead and the team should be providing you is how to grow as a realtor in your own business and get knowledge and education to be able to move forward.
It's so true because it's exactly what happens in real life, right? Whoever you surround yourself, if you put yourself next to successful people, somebody who already knows the stuff, then you become one of them too, right? I know when I started the business when I was 21, I didn't have anybody. All I did, I signed up with the office. They gave me this yellow pages book and they say, here's the phone, here's the book, off you go. And I used to pay $1,500. And that was what, like almost 20 years ago? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And that was my education part, right? Off you go.
So yeah, you know what? You brought up a great point with your experience with the brokers that you were at. And with all you new agents out there, I'll give you a few key questions that you should be asking every brokerage you're interviewing. So number one, ask them what their office fees are. This is just for you to have your license at that brokerage. What does that look like? What does it cost? Does it cost nothing? Usually these ones that cost next to nothing, they take a bigger chunk of your deal up to a certain point. For example, they'll charge you $0 a month, but they'll take 30% of your deal up to 15 grand that you have to give them for the year. and then they'll stop taking money off your deals.
Let's just explain them how the cap works.
Let's say, for example, the cap is, I'm just going to use a round number, $20,000, right? So you make $10,000, they're going to take 30%, which would be $3,000, to go towards that 20,000. So throughout the year, they're going to keep taking money until they make $20,000 off you, and then they'll stop taking money. So that's usually the ones that charge next to nothing have those type of arrangements in the background. So again, these are all questions you want to ask, like, hey, is it a percentage deal fee? Is it a fixed dollar amount deal fee? Is it a mix of both? Like, which one is it? When you choose a team, you definitely want to, the biggest question you want to ask is what's being provided to you? What are you getting in return for giving them money up, right? Now, it could be a mentorship from a top level realtor that's going to advance your career by years. It could be them handing you clients because they have so many clients. It could be them handing you leads from different lead generation type systems. There's a variety of things. You have to ask, what are you giving me? Since I'm giving you money, what do I get back? Am I getting an office? Am I getting this paid for? Am I getting that paid for? What am I getting paid for? For example, some teams might take a bigger chunk of your commission, but they'll pay for your office fees, for example. So that's one less bill you have to worry about, plus all the other stuff. And some might say, hey, you have to pay for X, Y, Z, but we'll take less. So, you just have to ask, what are you providing me and how much is it going to cost me? Mm-hmm. And also read the fine print, guys, because, myself, I have a team. The contract I have has been written by a lawyer. I would say 99% of these teams have contracts that have been written by lawyers. And you want to make sure, I've heard some horror stories. Like I just got off the phone with a colleague of mine that has been just going through the ringer and had exactly this conversation that me and Jan are having now about the pros and cons of teams. And this young lady, unfortunately, she's had a very, very horrible experience. And this one team that she was trying to join, the guy wanted her to sign a 5-year non-compete clause for the entire Lower Mainland. So basically, this girl wouldn't be able to work in the entire Lower Mainland for 5 years. So what's she going to move to Kelowna and start working real estate there? It's ridiculous. So again, I get, from the team lead perspective, you want to protect your leads and your business and someone's not going to steal it, but also there's extremes to everything.
Do they actually sign people on the contracts when they join the team?
Absolutely.
Is that a usual thing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, because at the end of the day, I think even on my team, we have set timelines, because if I'm going to invest X amount of dollars into you and X amount of time in you, obviously I'm not running a charity. I want to get a little bit of return on my investment, right? Obviously I want you to make money. I want to make a little bit of money too. I don't want to just pay for everything. You have it all and then go. And I just broke even. But that doesn't make sense either, right? So it has to be fair to both sides, right?
What's the usual contracts? A year?
Yeah, I would say at least a year would be minimum.
Minimum, okay.
Yeah, minimum should be a year because, again, how this business is. Even if you do a sale tomorrow, you're probably not going to get paid for 3 months when it completes, right? Unless the home is vacant and a bunch of other things. But typically, we get paid about 90 days from when we firm up on a deal.
Tell me more. We know the inside out, right? So we just want to give a little bit of tips to people.
For sure. Most realtors are there to help people. I would say 99% of the realtors out there are awesome people that are there to help you out, help you grow, advance your career, help you even on a deal if you're inexperienced, right? But there are people, in the industry, that will try to take advantage and make some advances for themselves and not necessarily for you, right? So again, things to watch out for, I kind of harped on it before, is how long is the contract for? What does the contract entail? What do you have to pay? What are they going to pay? What are the splits? And really the main thing is, what are you getting in return, right? Because the most valuable asset you have is your time, right? And your time is something you'll never get back. So really value that, and you're giving that time to that person. What are they going to give you in return, right? Okay. So I was fortunate enough, even though I started on the team, and now I'm on the team, the person the team on, he really did help me advance my career and gave me a lot of knowledge and information and help to help me get to where I am now, right? So I'm definitely, even though I had to give up some money and so on and so forth, I had a lot of expenses paid for me, if not all of them, with the exception of my office fees. And, it helped me financially, a little bit more stable, and definitely helped me both in my professional career and knowledge to move forward to the next step. So
So let me just ask you something. I've heard this quite often. A lot of times I've heard that brand new agents, they go on a team and they just put them, they just assign them to one specific part of the business. So they say, hey, if you're going to join my team, you're only going to work with the buyers. And in my opinion, when somebody limits them to one specific area of the business, they're not helping them to grow and they're not basically teaching them much.
That's a yes or no answer to that. So yes, in the sense that, for example, let's say I take a person on your team, it's going to be too overwhelming to learn everything at once, right? So it's just like, when you're a baby, you crawl, then you walk, then you run, right? So the positive side of that is, learn how to do a buyer's contract, learn how to take out buyers, master that, then move to listings, et cetera, right? On the flip side, and I know where you're getting at, is that sometimes what some team leads will try to do is just keep you in that niche. And you know what? It might work. Depends on your personality, depends on the team dynamic, depends on a lot of things, right? So again, just be aware of it. If it makes sense financially, lifestyle-wise, because, I have children, other people have different things in their life and they want to do different things. So you, for example, being a buyer's agent for a particular agent might work for you, and you work certain hours and you get paid a certain amount. It's a good life for you, and it works, right? But some people might have bigger ambitions that they want to maybe run their own team or go on their own. And sometimes what happens is some team leads will try to keep that information limited to those type of agents so they don't leave them, right? And they just kind of stay with them forever, right? So I believe that it's better to have transparency, like, hey, you know what? What's your plan? What do you want to do? How can we get to your goal? And see if that person that you're hiring on your team's goals align with yours, so you guys can grow together instead of just trying to kind of keep them in a little niche for your benefit. But again, everyone runs their businesses differently, so.
Makes sense. So if I, for example, want to join your team, so what I would do, I would ask you a question, say, okay, so I'll start with the buyers, you'll teach me everything. When I become an expert, would you move me to the next part? And the next part, how much would you teach me? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, what are they giving you? That's the most thing. I know we keep saying it over again, like, what are they providing back to you? What's the career path? What's the business path? What is the learning process? And what are you giving up in returns? Obviously, your time and money. What are you getting back for that? Starting out, if you're not in the best financial position, because this is an expensive business, you're starting your own business. There's no ifs, ands, or about it. This is a business that you're starting. You are the business, right? So it's going to cost money. So the benefit of being on the team is that, hey, you have someone that's already an established business that you're basically piggybacking off of to help you get going.
Plus, you're learning from the top expert, somebody who already knows how to run the business, right?
So you don't get sued, right? Because you make a mistake, you're getting sued.
In this business, yes. Yeah. See, if I live in Chilliwack and you live in West Vancouver, would that still work for the team? Or is it better for everybody to be in the same area, in your experience?
You know what? I kind of feel bad for that Chilliwack person coming to West Van, right? Because, again, you want to ask what is the mandate of the team? Are they expected to be there 5 days out of the week and, for example, do cold calling for 6 hours a day? Well, then you know what? One might not make sense to drive from Chilliwack to West Van unless, again, the agent is providing you something amazing, right? Maybe they're giving you access to $20 million listings, or maybe they say, hey, you know what? You be the buyer's agent for this $30 million house and I'll give you 20%, but you have to call 6 hours a day. That might be worth it for you, right? Because that's a big commission. But by all means, I would never tell someone not to branch out and grow, right? Like, if your goal is to be a top West Van realtor and you live in Chilliwack and that's what you want to do, then do it 100% and go team up with someone that is a top agent out there and shadow them and get mentored by them and learn that business, learn that area and be successful, no problem. Okay. Right? But if you're going to stay in Chilliwack, live in Chilliwack and work in West Van, that doesn't really make sense.
At the office, like, is it kind of like Monday to Friday job? So let's talk about the schedule itself, because I've never worked on a team, so I don't know how the schedule works for you.
So again, every team's different. I can't speak on there's different expectations. Like, so I know there's a colleague of mine out here, he gets his guys to literally do like 10 hours of cold calling every day, 5 days a week, 9 to 6 o'clock, 9 to like 7 o'clock a day to do cold calling. every day, 5 days a week. That's all they do. Cold call, cold call, cold call. Once the lead gets warm, they send it to this guy. So that's that guy's team. You know, our team, for example, we're expected the guys to come there 3 days out of the week, and they get 2 days to themselves, and then the other 2 days are out getting business different ways. So it just depends on the team and what the expectations are. You know, some teams are big on lead gen. Some teams are big on door knocking and farming. Some teams, you know, have like longer established agents that have an influx of buyers or sellers. You know, if you're doing 200-300 homes a year, you're one person. You can't handle that many clients. You have to give it out to buyers agents and listing agents, right? So just depends on the team you're joining and what kind of a business they're doing and how much of it.
So what would be your final advice to all of the brand new agents?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just what you're getting in return for your time. That's it. Like, what's the plan? You know, I would always just ask that, like, okay, what's their plan, and what's their plan for you, and see if those things match. And what are they giving you for what you're giving them?
As in the brand new agents, you're giving them time.
Let's be honest. You're giving them money. You're going to give up a portion of your commission, right? But don't look at like, and this is the thing. I know when you see like, oh, I'm going to give this person 50% or 70% or 30%, or whatever the percentage amount is, as a human being, you're like, oh, you think I could have done X, Y, Z with that money. This is a very bad way to think, okay? Because you got to, again, and I say it's a bad way to think because if you're getting value for that money, if you're getting like learning from that person, mentorship from that person, advancing your career, it's well worth it. You know, how much did you pay GOBC to advance your real estate course? How much did you pay UBC to start a real estate course? How much do you pay the board every 2 years to stay licensed? Right? It all costs money, right? So if you have to pay a successful agent to teach you how to be successful, then take that commission that you're giving up as same way that you would go attend a Tony Robbins seminar and listen to some inspirational words from Tony Robbins and pay $2,000, right? It's no different. It's no different at all.
I love it. It's exactly what that is, right? Mentorship is the most important part in life.
Absolutely.
And if you get it and you get paid for that on top of it, that's really good.
Most of the time you have to give money to get coached.
Right?
Make money and get coached, and you know, like, come on, guys.
That's golden, I know.